Yes, guys. So in this session, let's learn about something called as a hierarchical tree. Okay. So how do you figure out the hierarchy of your whole design? When I say hierarchy, what it means is like, let's assume that these are some small modules, each of it. Okay. And from which library have you picked up these instances? So if at all you want to figure out that, you use a specific command to be able to do that. Okay. Let's take a test case, a small, simple example over here. Okay, so let's assume you've got a module over here. You have got a top level, and all of this. Assume that all of this whole design is being done on a particular library. Okay, say library one. Okay, all of this design, the top level, the building blocks, everything is present in library one. Now, for some reason, you've got another designer, okay, or some other module which you have to pick it up from another library, okay? And this module is being picked up from library two. Okay, so the name of the module is the same. It's just that the library is different. Okay, in scenarios like that, then what happens is when it comes to delivery, when it comes to delivering a design, your main project golden library, okay, that becomes your the main library where all your modules are available. That becomes your golden library. Okay, what it means is all the modules, whatever you have been using in your design, even the top level, everything should be present in library one. Okay, that you need to ensure when you are delivering a design, or be it a module or sub module, anything, the rule of thumb here is we are working on a project which is the whole main project library is library one, so all the building blocks should be picked up from this. Okay, some cases you also have the scenarios wherein the modules are being picked up from multiple libraries. Okay, in cases like that, if that is already a kind of initial arrangement or understanding is being done, then it is okay that you pick up digital modules from library 1, analog modules from library 2, something of that sort. Okay, or say RF modules or clock modules from library 3 or something of that sort. Some arrangement would be done. But when it comes to delivering a design, it's always advisable that you have all the modules pointing to a specific library. Now, this process varies from company to company. Okay, here I'm trying to give you a scenario wherein you have to ensure that all the modules are pointing to the same library. So now, how do you figure out? You cannot keep going on clicking on each of the modules and query it and try to see which library is this. You will be having hundreds of modules like this in your whole design. Okay, at the top level, at a bigger module level, yes, you can click on this and say that, oh, this is pointing to a particular library. But what about the internals of this module? What about the internals of these modules? Are they as well pointing to the same library one, or are they pointing to some other library two or three? Right? So that it becomes very, very important. So when you are delivering a design, you are delivering the whole database from a library, a GDS format from your library, okay, a design database. So everything is expected to be pointing to a particular library. And when you're doing that, if at all, this particular referencing, all the modules are not being referenced to the main project library, you will start getting errors saying instance missing. You will not be able to you'll not be able to dump a GDS database. Okay, you'll be getting this module with a cross mark. It will start blinking, saying that instance is missing. So when you click on that, you will get to know that, oh, okay, this instance is not there in library one, which means what? When you were designing this module, you had picked up this module from library two. Right? So which means what? You don't have, when you're delivering a design, you haven't paid attention to all the modules. You haven't ensured that you have not pointed all the building blocks to the main project library. That's where these kind of errors come. That's where these kind of issues arise, wherein database generation becomes a problem. All the modules pointing to a particular library becomes a problem. So how do you ensure as a layout engineer that all the modules, how do you figure out that in a larger design like this, how do you check which module is pointing out to which library? From where have you picked up the wires? From where have you picked up such and such module? Okay. So there is an option in the tool called, we use something, we press something called as Shift T. We use the command tree command in the tool. Irrespective of whatever the EDA vendor you're using, you use the command Shift T, which is a bind key which we use to detect the tree of your design, the hierarchical tree of your design. Okay, so thereby once you figure out, once you press Shift T here, you will get what are all the modules inside this. Okay, where are all these pointing at? Right, when you highlight this, you will get a form kind of a thing, which I'll be showing it to you shortly, where it will be showing that each instance, each module has been picked up from a particular library. So then what you got to do is you got to go to that particular module, you got to dig into that whole module and change the library referencing. You've got to query it, press Q and ensure that this module which is missing or this module which is pointing incorrectly, you need to point it to the correct main project library. And then save it and then give a DRC LVS run. And that's where you ensure that your referencing is being done correctly. So there are multiple things what you can do here. You need to ensure that the internals of any module or the module itself is referencing to the main project library. Okay, it will help you in checking the referencing of each of the modules very easy by using the hierarchical tree option. Okay, so how do we do that? Say this is again the similar test case. I'm not showing any hierarchy over here just to confuse you, but I'm trying to keep it very simple over here. You see this, all of these modules here. I'll press Control F. In here you can see these are so many routes over here, routings, and there are devices here. 6 PMOSes and 6 NMOSes. Now this is a flat design, so the tree will be very simpler over here. Now when I press this, I will press Shift T. So when I press Shift T, it will give me an option saying that whether you want to check the hierarchy of a design from the current level to the bottom level, or from top till the bottom level. I'll just leave it as a default and click OK. So when I click OK over here, it will give me the details of the design. You see that library is this, view is layout, this is the timestamp, and it is telling me that I have picked up, from the library, such and such library over here. The type of the device is LVT, NFET, and PFET, and how many instances? 6 instances, and the view is layout view here. So now I have pressed over here. Now say for example, if I just press Shift F, I'll press Shift T. Now I'll just click OK. Over here, it will give me the similar thing. Now, if at all I had a hierarchical design over here, right, then it will give me a different name here. It will give me a different library name. Here, I'm just showing you with instances where it is pointing at, right? If at all you had this instance to be picked up from another library and by mistake you have placed something else over here, then you may have to change the library. How do you change the referencing? You just click on this query and you get it. Same thing on the similar lines on the schematic side also, you can very well do that. You press Shift T over here, top to bottom, just say, or say current to bottom and click OK. Right? Here, if you observe, there are other things as well because we are using different symbols from different libraries. You see here, this is the device. We have got 6 symbols here. What you've got LVT, PFET, and NFET. We have got 6 symbols each. We have got IO pin, which are 2 IO pins, 2 pins. From basic library, we have picked up all of these symbols: in pin, out pin, and IO pin. 3 different types of pins which we have picked up from basic library. And 6 instances, that is 6 PMOSes and 6 NMOSes. So if at all we had building blocks here, to create a hierarchy over here, that's when it would give me a hierarchy in this tree option. So then it becomes easier for me to, click on the device and change the referencing so that everything points out to a particular library. So that is how you can look into the Shift T over here. Use the Shift T option to look at the tree structure of your whole design. If you've got a hierarchical design module, you press Shift T, then you'll be able to see each and every block which is pointing to different hierarchies. Okay, and you will also be able to see now, like the way it's showing a library name over here, And if at all you have used any other module pointing out to another library, it will show a different library name over here. So you just need to ensure you copy the same design in that particular library, go back into your design and reference it to a main project library. So thereby you're ensuring that all the instances what you are delivering to your customer or to your next level of the design, everything is pointing out to your main project library. So that's about using your tree command to figure out the hierarchy and change the referencing and ensuring that all the building blocks of your design are pointing to the same project library. Thank you.